Hi, I'm Kathy Mills from Short Film Edits, and I'm here with Trevor McEwan for an interview today. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Could we start this with
Awesome.
you telling us a little bit about you?
Sure thing. First off, hi, my name is Trevor McEwan. I am a Canadian actor currently based out of South Korea. And let's see, what else? Capricorn, uh, long walks on the beach. Is this that kind of video?
No, but you can tell us that if you want to.
Um, what else can I tell about myself? I like reading. I like Warhammer. I'm a big nerd who also does like acting and all that stuff. So
A gamer?
yes, but I'm currently trying to update my setup right now. Obviously, considering recent circumstances, I need to definitely upgrade my equipment and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Okay, so what inspired you to start acting?
It depends on how far back you want to go. I mean, growing up, I was always kind of, an energetic kid. Um, that one kid in the classroom who's always like running around, who doesn't want to sit still, very fidgety, and I guess liked being the center of attention in a certain way, at least in my own house too, as well. In school, for a point, there was that too, and then the teacher would yell at me or send me to the counselor or something like that. But I think what got me into acting, I don't know how too many people have this story, where it just sort of didn't really like wasn't something like I necessarily actively pursued, but something that just sort of happened to me, right? Like the whole like, oh, I didn't choose acting, it chose me thing. It's as kind of corny or um, sort of tropey as that sounds. That is kind of what happened because it's like, passively in the back of your mind, everybody thinks like, oh, it would be cool to be in a movie. Right. It'd be cool to do that sort of thing. And I was one of those people for a while. And then when the opportunity presented itself to me, I was like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, I can see this actually being something that I actually enjoy doing and want to pursue and, hone my skills at and chase after.
Yeah.
And so
After that,
that kind of got me started there. Yeah.
yeah. After that, did you go into like acting classes and things like that?
Not formally, no. It's a lot of it is my experience has been kind of like learning on the go and also just kind of talking and speaking with a lot more of my um I guess seniors you would call or finding like role models in the industry here or like obviously outside in like, the British or Hollywood American Canadian acting scenes and just sort of like listening to um, interviews with them or reading books and seeing like kind of how they um, found inspiration or how they sort of their process of things too as well. So a lot of my learning has been mostly like hands-on, and that's kind of how I tend to treat most of my education, my whole life, and everything that I do is like I'm a very hands-on learner. So it's like even if I wasn't like trained or good, it's like in the beginning, like a lot of the time, it's been just me going out there and just trying and doing it and then getting notes on it and then going back doing it again repeating until it gets better, so it's sort of been like training on the job, I guess.
Yep. Yep. That's good though. That's good too. All right. Um, what's your entry point into a character?
I think trying to find some sort of commonality,
Mm.
right? Even if it's just somebody that's almost completely polar opposite It's like, okay, how can I relate to this person, or how can I empathize with this character?
Hmm.
Right. So some quirks, even if it's minute, right? Some sort of hook that I can find to be like, I'm not like this person, like personality wise, character wise, but if they've ever felt this sort of emotion, oh, I've felt that sort of emotion before. Okay. Or been in this sort of scenario where something happened. And so it's just like, how did I feel in that? Okay. And then sort of using that to sort of build from.
Yeah, I guess we all find one part of our life that we've experienced that particular thing at some point, and we can just dive into that bit. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Do you
Hmm.
rely more on control or surrender when you're in a scene?
It it really depends on the scene, I think. Um, like a lot of the time it is like, yeah, trusting the process, the creative team, your scene partners, right? And just it also like the script too as well, and just lending yourself to that. Um, and sometimes I feel like if it doesn't feel right, if I run through it and it's just like a couple times I'm just like, then I try to exercise, there's a little bit more control. I think the amount obviously varies. Um, but sometimes it's like, yeah, if it's not working for me, it's sort of just like I would go to the director, I would go to whoever's in the scene, everything else, and say, hey, can we try this? Can I try this? Right? See if that works better, right? And depending on whatever feedback I get, then that's sort of how we proceed. Sometimes it's going to be like, oh yeah, yeah, no, sure, go ahead. And sometimes it's going to be, well, we really should stick to the script. I'm just like, okay, you know, try. If this is how they want to do it, then I'll do it the way they want to do it to the best of my ability, and hope it comes out good and hope it's well received.
Yeah. Do you think that you go into like stunt scenes and things like that with more control?
I think stunts, yeah, for me, like especially if I'm putting my body on the line,
Mm.
um, and doing that before. A lot of the time, though, it's it's half and half. Because here's a fun little tidbit. I used to do sort of like professional wrestling before. Um, well, no, while I was actually into acting, it was around like maybe 7 years ago. I had a brief little stint with it, and a lot of that is trust,
Mhm.
right? Too. So sort of like trusting whoever it is that you're working with too, as well, if you're because you are performing quite, sometimes dangerous, athletic stunts and stuff like that, and you are putting your body on the line for that too, and that translates over, of course, into film as well. They're just very different things. One is more like theater, combat theater, as I say,
Mm.
gladiatorial stuff, you know, albeit choreographed, but still like risky. And then one, there's like for film, TV, dramas, movies, what have you. Um, and so when I'm doing work for either of those things, it's sort of just like, yeah, okay, there is a surrender in it too, but it's also like control and sort of like knowing what I need to do to make sure that I'm safe, but also whoever I'm working with is also safe too as well. So learning how to say pull my punches, or how to sort of do it in a way that works with the camera angle so it looks a lot better, but also so I don't injure myself or I don't injure who I'm working with too as
Yeah, of
well. So it's
course.
like learning how to do it safely. That's the control part. And then also then when it's if you're like me and you get your butt kicked a lot in these things, right? It's like also trusting the other person to be like, okay, don't break my nose.
Hmm. Yeah. Since you've done wrestling, do you have like counters to those if they like, because I know you don't actually physically hit each other. Well, hopefully, but I know there's been some miss hits sometimes, but do you have ways to kind of counter that if they do accidentally go too far?
Um, Yes, and I will say I have been what do they call it? I've had a few times where I've been brushed tapped a little bit too hard
Mhm.
occasionally. Fortunately, it wasn't anything that kind of like left any like bruises, marks, or swelling or something like that. But there are sometimes where it's just like you get a little wake up, like boom, oh.
Yeah.
Um, but no, with those ones, usually, at least when you're expecting them, and if you're more experienced, obviously, if you've been, say, in a fight scene, like what happens a lot in these verticals when they're throwing a lot of punches in these ones, um, or slaps, depending on who it's from.
Yeah.
So if I'm working across from like the hero, from the dude, right, the main guy, right, the pro tag, and he decides, it's like it's in the script, and it's like, okay, he punches me across the face, and it's like, okay, I ask you, like, okay, which hand are you throwing?
Hmm.
Okay, so you're right-handed. Okay, so I know which way to go, where it's
Yeah.
coming from, right? Or so it's like if even if it comes close, at least it's like have the term like rolling with the punches.
Hmm.
So at least if it does make contact, it's glancing a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Uh,
And if it's anything else, it's sort of just like if he comes in, he has to like kick me, boot me, everything else like that. Like that stuff is more like centrally. So it's like
mm,
I can like brace myself for that because there's no way to like necessarily fake that. It's more or less just like how much you want to put into it and then how quickly I sort of react or fall back to that sort of thing. And that comes with time, training and experience to learn how to do
yeah.
that stuff, safely. And then working with, say, like the girls and stuff like that, right? Because they do a lot of like slapping and stuff like that too, or
Mm,
throwing stuff in the face. With them, I say sometimes it's more fun just be like, just go for it.
hmm. Yeah. Just do it.
Like whatever helps. If it's in, just be like, yeah, just don't poke out my eyes, but just be like, find a good spot and just boom, if you can. And then usually the directors are like, no, 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 no. But like if I'm working with somebody, I'm just like, you know, if it to make it look real, make it look good.
Mm.
Don't
I've
don't
heard someone say
don't
that
don't.
before. They just said, just hit me. It's more realistic if you
Yeah,
just hit me. So, yeah.
whatever you got to do in the scene. If it calls for hitting, if it calls for like any kind of a physicality, or I don't want to get too graphic, but some of the ones have also had like like spitting and stuff like that in them too as well. I'm just like, just like don't be shy about that sort of thing. It's like it's for the scene, make it look good, whatever is like that. Just do it. Just
Yeah.
we can apologize. We can shake hands. We can hug afterwards. But it's like
Yeah.
for the good, for the story, for the plot, like for the scene.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's good. All right. How do you know when a performance is truthful versus just technically correct?
Um, that's a tough one. That's a good question.
Thank you.
Technically correct. So when you say, so can you elaborate? What do you mean by technically correct?
So just that you feel like you've done everything that they wanted you to do, rather it just being like a fully truthful emotion.
Oh, okay, okay. I guess depending on the level of like satisfaction, I think you feel after you've completed a scene. Like if you felt like, oh, I left a lot on the table there, I could have done more, but they decided to move on with it, right? And so it's like that could be sort of like technically correct, right? Because it's like, okay, they've got a lot of scenes to shoot that day, right? So it's like they don't want to have, they can't keep doing so many retakes just because you want to do it a little bit more. So it's about compromise, I think a lot of the times though too. Um, and then sometimes you finish a scene and you're like, you know what? That was great. I gave all I could for that. Sometimes I don't want to give any more
Hmm.
as well
Yeah.
too, because it's like very draining, exhausting, like emotionally or physically sometimes too. Um, so it's like then I feel like, yeah, on that was a very honest scene, that was good. That hit all the major points, checked all the boxes,
Yeah.
technically correct and honest at the same time. So I'd be like, we can move on now and do everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
These scenes,
so.
some of these scenes definitely can be emotional, especially when they stop you halfway through a scene to go back and then you got to reach that emotion again.
Well, that depending also how many like cuts or camera angles they want to get in it too as well.
Hmm.
Right. So it's like we only need up to this point. It's like, oh, keep that emotion. And then it's like, okay, let's spend like 10 to 15 minutes like reorganizing the cameras or something like that just to get like an over the shoulder shot or, a full shot or whatever.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm just over here crying my eyes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, can you think of a time when something went wrong in a scene, but it actually made the performance better?
When I got hit in the face,
Yeah.
that was the first thing that popped in my head because it was like, didn't feel good at the time, but then looking back at the playback on the little monitor there, I'm just like, that does look good though.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah. Some things that went wrong. That was the first thing that popped up because it's like you're not really supposed to punch the other person in the face,
Mm,
really. Like, but it does sometimes those things happen, like, the glass break in Leonardo DiCaprio's hand in Django, right?
hmm.
Those things, are happy accidents, I guess they're not supposed to happen, but it does lend itself to the scene, and makes it uh, much, I guess, it makes it better overall,
Makes it
like
more
better,
real, more real.
yeah,
Yeah.
visceral, real, and all that sort of stuff like that. So it seems like that is like, yeah, I haven't luckily had any uh, cuts or bruises on that level where I've needed like stitches,
Mm,
um, per se, because a lot of the time, like if we are working with glass, it's sugar glass.
hmm. Yeah.
And that stuff we have very few of them on set, so
Mm.
they're just like, be careful, and
Yeah.
also get it on the first try, no pressure.
Oh yeah, no pressure at all.
No pressure. We only have two of these.
Hmm. Oh gosh. Yeah. I don't mean,
So
are they like, are they expensive? Like, is that the reason why they don't have a lot of them, or are they just like short in demand or?
I'd have to, I'm not quite aware of the that like sort of like the fiscal, like the budgeting side of it too as well. I think
Mm,
it's just that I don't know if it's an expense thing. I will say
mm,
that one. I don't know if it's an expense thing. I think it's just more like they only prepared that much,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
So
Because
just
it's
do
sugar
everything
glass.
right.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's sugar. I don't think it's that expensive to make now in this economy. Maybe sugar is getting more expensive. I don't know, but I think it's more or less like just a supply thing. Like they didn't bring enough.
Yeah. 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 So hopefully you get it right on the first time or the second. Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, it depends on what production you're working with too, and how prepared they are for certain things too. So some obviously um, might have more like ample amount, just being like, oh yeah, go to town. Like here, we'll break one
Mm.
for free, just for fun. This is what it's like. Now here are the rest. But like also we only still have like a limited amount, like 10 of them. But
Yeah. Yeah, of course. All right. What's your favorite part about the creative process?
it's a two-parter for that one.
Mhm.
I have two answers for that. So the first one being, I think the sort of like stepping out of my own skin, I guess, the vulnerability, opening myself up to it, and like transforming, becoming somebody else, and having that sort of, it's kind of an escape in a way,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
playing make believe,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? So that sort of like fun aspect of it. I think that's sort of one of the things that I enjoy about it a lot. But also, I think the second part of that answer is also getting to work with um, people who are equally as passionate. about that sort of work and that sort of process too, as well, and just getting to bounce off of each other. That's incredibly fun.
Yes, and you can tell when they're just as passionate as you are. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I know that's always when you get like the really, really good scenes with them when
Hmm.
it's just like just going back and forth with each other. You're not hitting all your lines, but it's like
Mm.
there's always like again, there's always a ton of ad lib in these things too as well.
Yeah.
And they sometimes they'll let you go for it. Sometimes they want you to stick to the script. But it's like if you're bouncing off of somebody and you're just you forget your line and then but they just throw something else at you and you just react naturally as you would have
Hmm.
like in that scene as that character sort of thing. It's like then that's when like the magic like kind of really happens. And it's really
Yes.
fun to do that.
Yes, yes. It's even better when they give you something that you weren't expecting, but it was easier to roll with than what you were, so to speak.
Hmm.
When you approach a role, what's the first practical decision you make that shapes everything else?
These are really good questions.
Thank you.
You're killing it right now. Oh man. It's like one of these things where it's just like you kind of don't really act like think about those kind of things. It's just sort of like naturally you just do the thing, right? But then actually now trying to just like trying to break down like the actual process of it. I guess sort of the first practical thing when I'm approaching a character that I would do is just sort of be like figuring just out like okay, like who is this person?
Mm.
Right? Not just like what the synopsis is or what like the brief, very brief, extremely brief like character breakdown that you get like
Oh,
in the script or like the little tiny little like blip for like the summary or something like that. Just be like, okay, his name, his age, what he does. I'm like, okay, cool. But
yeah.
then it's like the things you sort of figure out like as you're like reading the script, going to the table read and stuff like that, and then working with talking to the other actors, talking to the directors, right, and all that stuff, and just getting a better sense and being like, okay, this is the first practical thing to be like, who is this person? Like how much, like what's their backstory? Why are they the way they are? Right. So it's just, I guess, approaching it more like breaking them down, trying to, because these are still like vertical characters. They're not like it's not like I don't want to sell it short. These are very like good characters, but at the same time, they're not like what do you call them? Incredibly like deep
Mm, yeah, they
characters,
don't have
right? It
a lot of emotional depth, like stuff.
right. It's kind of and I don't want to slam it because it's like it's a great genre and obviously it's very popular and a
Mm,
lot of people like it, right? But it's like it's also incredibly, I think part of it is also kind of like a little bit superficial,
mm,
right? Like
yeah,
very surface level. Like some of the characters, there are certain people that I've seen then and certain actors that I've worked with, and certain verticals that I have seen, um, where there is a lot more given to the actors involved, and they
yeah.
do give them a little bit more like multi-dimensionality, right? Than rather just being like 2D caricatures,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
You can tell like say, oh, this is a well-written one, or this the production quality, like the acting, everything else like that is just like
Hmm.
hitting all the boxes there. But like it's about also how much you decide to put into it too, as well as a performer too, as well. Because I know some people that they if they no matter what project they're working on, no matter how limited, and I always try to do this too as well. The characters, even if I'm just a day player, I'm just sort of like figuring out, okay, giving this guy like a little backstory, right?
Mm,
Why he does what he does. So it's just to what degree,
yeah.
right? You go for it, whether or not he's like the main baddie or again, just like a day player, a day role, right? Just coming in one and done and you're good. Or you're going the whole 9 yards.
Mm. I do know a lot of actors love it when they're given a really good script and they get to dive really deep into a character.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
It's I mean, it makes it easier, I think,
Mm.
but it's like also it's a fun challenge too as well to sort of explore at the same time, and
Yeah.
then also add your own flavor to it as well.
Yes. Improvisation is really important in those characters as well, because then they can just really go for it and give it all they've got.
Hmm. Well, because that's just how they're written on the page, though, too, as well. So you, as the performer who is cast in that role, you sort of have to add now your own thing to it as well. Because if you
Mm.
just do it by the book,
Yeah.
you're not really adding anything to it. If it's just like by the lines, and so you're not adding your own sort of personal touch to it.
Yeah. It becomes more mechanical if you're just doing it by script.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. What's a technical skill you're still currently trying to refine in your work?
Uh, I think probably the thing that I'm still trying to improve or refine. Um, I think would be just I think trying to control a bit more of the emotions.
Mm.
I think, like you said, like trying to get better at those sort of things, just trying to convey things like, okay, I'm angry here, but that doesn't mean I have to shout, right? So it's sort of just trying to refine that and get better at that, obviously. I mean, I could say like, oh, all the things, you know,
Yeah.
like line memorization, like that's still a thing, like, depending on how much I have and how technical the script is, how much, if I'm playing like a defense attorney, like, okay, how much legal jargon is going to be in that, right?
Hmm.
Or if I'm a doctor,
Yeah.
right? So those kind of things, but it's like, so yeah, that's obviously a good skill that's like I still have to work on. Other technical stuff would be again more like physicality, stunt
Hmm.
wise. That's something you can always be better at. Um, and then yeah, just like again, like more or less like fine tuning like the performance, like trying to be more authentic,
Yeah. Yeah.
in the scene, even if it's a vertical, depending on how much they give you. Sometimes they don't really care.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want you to. Again, this is where the surrender part comes in. As you mentioned before, sort of like sometimes like when I want to give something, it sounds a little bit more natural, and the production side of things would be just like, no, we just want to do it like that. We just want you to scream.
Mm.
We want you to yell and do all that sort of things, right? Then be over the top,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Overact basically. And I'm just like, oh, if that's what they want. That's what they want,
Yeah. And like if you
right?
don't think that you reach the point that you want to in that scene, but they're like, oh no, we've got what we got. It's fine. Move on.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say definitely like probably that's the thing I want to get good at. Like, and the things that I'm doing, trying to do more, like in my free time, is working on like doing a bunch of like the recording myself doing a bunch of like the TikTok or Instagram acting challenges or voice acting challenges where, it's just random and you're trying to convey this whatever this character is and whatever scene you're doing, right? That what the prompt gives you, right? So it's just like trying to fine tune, those things and trying to show emotion or react in a certain way, but like not in an unrealistic way or an overly dramatic way. Just sort of like when people look and you're watching a movie or you're watching a vertical, right? And you just see like the tiniest little thing on
Mm.
their face, whether it be like a little like facial tick or twitch or like a little like narrowing of the eyes, a small thing you can see be like, oh, he's feeling something right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Those little things, that's where it's like I really want to try and get better at sort of those sort of little micro
Mm.
emotions.
Do you think the subtlety can be taught, or do you think it just comes with experience?
I think a lot of the stuff can is mostly just comes just from doing.
Mm.
Like that's just whatever my philosophy is. It's sort of just like, you can obviously, and it sounds hypocritical to say, but obviously people want to go to acting schools, and do live theater or improv classes, all that sort of stuff. Like, yes, 100%.
Mm.
Like I believe in that process and works. It's like whatever you feel works for you at
Yeah.
the end of the day, right? Whatever learning style fits you, because it's not like a one size fits all thing. Some people will benefit more from acting classes than others will, right? Because maybe that's
Yes.
not the environment that works for you, right? Same thing if
Mm.
you learn acting from reading books too, as well, or interviews or just watching movies. It's like whatever works for you. If it's like as long as at the end of the day, you know, both you and the production side of things is like if they're satisfied with like the end result of that and you can maintain that, and if you're striving to improve upon the stuff that the skills that you already have, right, and not just kind of just coast by, right, and become like complicit, right, then by all means, like all the power to you.
Yeah.
But I think like
Exactly.
definitely doing for me is where I'm a lot stronger, I
Yeah.
think, and it definitely like absorbs a lot more. And I think
Mm.
definitely for most people, I would think they also kind of agree in that too as well, that you learn more by doing, getting feedback, and then practicing it again and again and again, and repeating until you get to that point where it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, myself, I'm a more visual learner, so I'm better at
Mm,
doing things that are being like taught to me in person rather than over a screen or in a book. As like, but everybody's different, you know. So it just depends on how
absolutely.
you process it.
Hmm. Yeah, and like everybody's got different, like not just learning styles, but their comfort levels too, like what
Yeah.
they're comfortable with too as well. So it's like some people who may be more, you know, even introverts, right, or extroverts
Hmm.
and stuff like that. It's like they would thrive better in different environments too as well,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
If it's something that they struggle with, and it's like obviously it's good to get out to get put yourself out there.
Mm.
Obviously, if you're someone that's a little bit uncomfortable and put yourself into uncomfortable positions, right, or scenarios, right, just to sort of build yourself up. Um, but some are obviously better at easing you into that than other, right?
Yes. Yeah, you got to find what's right for you. And sometimes you could try something and you think you're comfortable and you're not. So then you can adapt and go another way and find what's right for you.
Yeah. So it's like I don't want to say to anybody like, oh no, this is the only way to become this
Mm.
or to do this.
Yeah.
It's sort of just like a, it's branching past. There's all kinds of different ways to get to what the same objective or whatever it is to do.
Absolutely.
It's like
Yeah.
whatever route you choose. Could be some routes could be longer, some routes could be shorter. But it's also not good to take shortcuts at the same time as well. But
Yes, I agree with that also. Okay.
mhm.
What tells you a moment needs to be internal versus expressed outwardly?
I think I mean it obviously depends on what kind of prompts are written on the script too as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
Too, that helps, but also just sort of like, okay, prompts, if there were no prompts in the script, right, it'd be like, okay, basically the dialogue,
Mm.
right, and sort of just like part of it being like the dialogue, like what the other person is saying to you, and versus now trying to your understanding of your character,
Yeah.
right, and how they would react to that, to being spoken to, or having whatever is said to them,
Mm.
right. So if I'm like a vain, narcissistic, egotistical, chauvinistic, asshole. Sorry,
Mhm.
pardon my French. Right? It's like, how am I going to react if, say, the girl who I treat like garbage suddenly grows a backbone, right,
Mhm.
and decides to stand up for herself, right? Like, what's my first instinct gonna be? Is like, am I gonna say something first, or am I gonna show my reaction on my face first, like physically, right?
Mm.
And so obviously there's like that sort of shock. It's like obviously that's gonna be more visual first.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna see as the audience, right, who the viewer, you're gonna see obviously like what he's gonna be like before he kind of you're watching the wheels or the gears spinning on his head trying to comprehend what just happened,
Hmm.
right, and just being like where did this come from, what is she doing, how, and then all of a sudden that sort of initial confusion, that initial shock then turned to sort of like the how dare you,
Yeah.
sort of like the ego comes in,
Hmm. Yeah.
right, and then you get more like okay, now his retort to that, or his
Mm.
like now it becomes more verbal,
Yes.
right? And then his reaction to that sort of thing,
Yeah.
right? So
So
it's
each
just like,
scene could call for both.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that just, I mean, that's also just something you just learn, just like regular human interaction, like daily,
Mm.
right? There's a lot of life experience to that. If somebody, you know, cuts you off in traffic or is rude to you at like the supermarket, or something really nice happens to you,
Mm.
right? And just sort of that regular, like everyday socialization, and then just translating that into like a very sort of a little bit of a hyperbolic
And you're like, how do I want to
situation.
react to
Like,
this
not,
today?
yeah, basically, basically, but
Yeah.
just sort of like taking those normal, like, emotions, reactions, everything else like that, and then sort of figuring out, being like, okay, what would I do first in this scenario?
Mm.
Right. If I was being spoken to this way, or how, and then just like sort of a general like awareness,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything you want anyone to know about you or your work?
Uh, I'm not a bad person in real life.
Yes, no.
Like I'm not the characters I play on screen. That would probably
Mhm.
be the first thing that popped into my head, because it's like it's fun. It's fun. I'm sure you've spoken to your fair share of baddies and villains throughout this whole
Hmm.
interviewing stuff too as well. And I'm sure a lot of them aren't as vile as who they play.
No, no. I mean, you were a good character in Love Hits Like His Right Hook. You weren't a bad guy in that one.
Yeah, no, that was a fun role to play, to step into, and that was a nice breath of fresh air too as well, because I'm pretty sure like
Mm.
since I've been stepped into like the whole vertical scene, I think that was one of the characters that, and maybe the only one right now that I can actually think of where I wasn't a bad guy. And I
Oh.
was like relieved to actually like read the script and be like, oh, thank God.
Yes.
Nobody's gonna hate me.
Hmm. It would have been nice for you to play something different too, just like get that new experience as well.
It would like if you were to ask me, it was like, okay, what's something you would like to do in the future? I mean, I may be jumping ahead here.
Mm.
But it's like I don't mind, playing the villains. Like I said, they're fun.
Mm.
It's kind of cathartic,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. If you've been having like a rough day, and then it's like, okay, I'm time to take out some frustrations,
Hmm.
express
Yeah.
myself, whatnot. Um, let the intrusive thoughts win. But yeah, it would be, at some point in time, it would be nice to sort of be the sort of the hero, or more like friendlier characters, more I think more comedic characters too as well,
Mm. That would be
right? And I
good.
think that's what I kind of enjoyed about Love Hits Like His Right Hook.
Mm.
And that character was very, like, I would say, like the way they described it, he was very like sort of like the comedic kind of, or at least he added to it the comedy of it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, let's go with this question. If you could strategically plan your next three roles, what would they be?
if I mean production, allowing and stuff like that. Like I would love to do some like romantic fantasy, right?
Hmm.
Like, and this just comes from just like I just want to wear like a suit of armor
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
ride a horse. Like the masculine urge to
Do you want to
wear
be
is
like a
like
knight?
why aren't more men dressing like this? Like that sort of thing, or like kind of like Downton Abbey, Game of Thronesy sort of
Mm. Yeah,
like that
that'd be
that
cool.
kind of era. Because it's like a lot of the stuff that I've been doing has been very modern,
Mm. Yeah.
right? Very, very like present day. So it's like, very simple like suits or but still like very modern. Like everybody's got a smartphone,
Mm. Yeah.
right? So I think for that it's sort of it would be fun to do sort of like more of like a period one,
Yeah.
right? Like something like Pride and Prejudice or maybe a Western or like I said, like
Mm.
sort of like the romanticy sort of like that kind of thing. But again, like if I
Yeah.
could strategically, like you said, so it's like
Mm.
in my head, it's like, okay, this production definitely has the budget and like the place to go to, like a Western set, to go to like a medieval sort of castle or
Hmm.
some Victorian era uh
Yeah.
setting to do those
That
sort of
would be
things. So
so
it's like
cool.
I think I kind of described the next three I would love to do. Or okay, maybe two of those. I would say
Mm.
maybe Western, definitely. Something like Yellowstone, maybe too, as well. Something like that, maybe. And then yeah, definitely the knight in shining armor one. Um, and then maybe for the third one, it's like, you know what? I want to see like rom-coms.
Hmm. Yeah.
I want to see like that take off like in the vertical sphere. I want to do see like more like, hey, 50 First Dates or um maybe a George of the Jungle. I don't know, something
That'd be cool.
that kind of lends itself extremely well to this sort
Mm.
of vertical space. I might have to do
Yeah.
some crunches and find Brendan Fraser's diet and workout routine to do that role, but
I've been saying so
something.
many times, I want a sci-fi. That's my favorite genre. I want a sci-fi.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that works too. Sci fantasy, something like that too as well. Yeah, something like what are you thinking? Like more of like a Star Trek, Star Warsy kind of thing, or like Firefly?
Stargate. Stargate for me.
Ooh, okay.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, no, I know that one too as well. They filmed a lot in Vancouver, where I'm from too as well. They shot a lot of the stuff there.
Oh, there you go. You're perfectly set up
Yeah,
for it. I mean, I
yeah,
might be
there we go.
pushing it if we go the Atlantis route because I don't think filming underwater that long is plausible, but we can go with SG-1 type instead.
Yeah, something along those lines. But yeah, no, like a sci-fi or fantasy, like I mean, sky's the limit with these things. It just depends on how
Hmm.
much they want to invest in it, and obviously it's a growing industry, right? Getting a
Mm.
lot of interest, a lot more people are watching it, and if I've been reading like the correct enough articles, like the money that's flowing into it is extremely like growing at a very rapid pace, like doubling basically in over year, like the year. So,
Yes. Yeah, you just need
it's a
that person to
billion
take
dollar
the
industry.
chance. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
taking the
You just
chance
need
in
to find
something
like
different.
a brave enough crew, a like, production that, is willing to go along with it and then like some decent writing,
Yeah.
and some talented actors who like want to do like, yeah,
Yeah. God,
sign
I
me up.
really need it. Yes, yes, definitely.
There is, I think I probably maybe you're not the only one. Maybe the people that also like follow you and like follow all this like vertical space, like I'm pretty sure they're crying for like the same stuff too
Mm.
as well. And it's like I think the people at the top should listen definitely to like the audience a lot more.
Yes. I mean, I've heard
I
that
think.
sometimes they do, but I just don't know how much they do. So,
Mm. Yeah, it's sort of just like, okay, what's working, like what's safe versus it's like,
mm,
okay, how much wiggle room do we have to take a chance,
yeah. Yeah.
right,
I think
on
it
this too as well.
mostly relies
Yeah.
on data. So,
Mm. Ugh, boardroom statistics, charts, everything else like that.
yeah.
Men in suits. But
Yep. Yeah. That's where the money is, though. So, yeah.
It is. We just need to
Mm,
find somebody with enough money that just trusts the creative process and be like, here's the money, have fun.
yeah. Well, hopefully someone with money sees one of these and knows I want a sci-fi.
Here we go. Just start petitioning all the platforms and all
Mm,
the everybody and just be like, hey, bike dance, like sci-fi, make it happen.
yeah,
Do like a vertical Mass Effect or something. I don't know.
that would be so good. So good. All right. How do you make similar roles feel unique?
I think that's where the personal touch sort of thing comes into sort of it's like, okay, even though I've played multiple villains, right? One could be argued, be like, okay, this you just add sort of a different maybe personality quirk or a different aspect to whatever the performance that you're bringing to it. So one character might be more, even though they share like certain, obviously certain traits like narcissism and ego and all this sort of stuff like that too.
Mm,
So like, okay, this guy, he's more cold. He's a bit
mm,
more psychotic, right? Sociopathic, right? Emotionless, right? Versus this guy, he's much more emotionally involved, right? He's very passionate. He's got a very short temper, a very short fuse, or he's delusional, which I did in one of my more recent roles, which I don't know when it's coming out. It should be coming out hopefully soon. But sort of
mm.
like in that story, um, I don't want to spoil too much
No.
about it, but there are certain like narrative devices that were sort of used to sort of see how he viewed the relationship
Mm.
versus how his partner remembers the relationship, right? So it's sort of like that
Okay.
that contrast there. So it's sort of like in his head, right? So
See, I
I say
love when
like
they
that
do
was a
that.
little,
I love when
yeah,
they give you that. Yeah.
like the little tease, just like the little contrasting flashbacks,
Mm. That's good.
right?
That's good.
So you're sort of seeing things through his eyes or his memory, and then through her memory
Mm.
as well,
Okay.
right? So little things like that, little slight character variations, I would say, and then sort of like how much, I guess, energy you bring to those sort of things too as well to try and convey those like the best. Or sometimes one of the characters I think I did for I was a butler. Um and in this one was it called The Lost Daughter or something, I think was the name of it. Um and I decided I'm just gonna give him an accent
Yep. Yep.
for no reason because it's like, yeah, he's a butler, he works for a rich family. Let's make him let's Alfred Pennyworth him. Let's make him sound
Mm.
like he went to an Ivy League school and then just ended up working for this wealthy family.
Were they okay with you making that decision?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%,
Good.
hundred
Good.
percent. Honestly, though, I don't. In all honesty, I don't think they noticed.
Yeah.
I don't think they noticed or cared. But at the end of the day, as long as I hit my all my marks, then it's like they were happy with it.
Yeah. Well,
You
that's good
know.
then. That's good. I like that.
But just yeah, taking something like that and just adding sort of like a new spin to it because it's at that point I was sort of like maybe this was like my fifth or fourth or whatever it was villain role, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm a butler. I'm gonna try something new.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
Because
that.
it's like I think this that's sort of like an experimentation, but also just sort of like the character too as well. Like, okay, he's got this name,
Mm.
right? And he works with a wealthy family. I don't think he's gonna have a Western Canadian accent.
No. No.
It kind of takes away and changes the genre up a bit.
A little bit. Yeah. Or you could have like one of those strong English accents.
Exactly. 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 Yeah, no,
Mm.
so it's like that would fit the character much more than that. So it's like those those sort of little tweaks here and there, sort of like I would say like differentiate the performances and the characters enough too that I can be like, okay, this is this guy, this is that guy, you know.
The different people you work with too would change how you
Yeah,
play your character.
yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. And it's always fun to do those sort of add those extra little things to it too, besides like just either speaking in your normal voice, but just changing your tone or your cadence. And then but then when you get to actually like flex a little bit more and then add something like an accent or um a speech impediment or something
Mhm. Yeah,
to the character
yeah,
as well. Obviously with permission or if it's not already like laid out in the script.
yeah. Something to make it unique. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
To stand on its own like next to all the other roles and performances that are similar but
yeah,
different too. I
cool.
think when I was in a mafia one too as well, I'm pretty sure I tried to do not really a strong accent in that one, but sort of a little bit more subtle because obviously I was working with um because of the cast I was working with too as
Mm.
well. So it's like it's like this doesn't read like a normal like stereotypical crime family because we got like a Canadian, a girl from Boston, a girl from France, and then a dude from Denmark
Oh,
as sort of like the patriarch of the family. And I'm just like, we're all supposed to be related.
hmm.
So it's just like, okay, this has to be somewhat cohesive. So it's like I can't go too like, Don Corleone into this sort of thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
As
You
much
have
as I
to,
want to, right?
yeah. You have to work together to make it work for everyone.
Exactly. So you can't and that's part of the whole process too as well, right? It's just sort of
Mm.
understanding it's not about you.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's a big thing that I think a lot of actors definitely do know. And I think but there's some that still sort of try and sort of make it about themselves too as well. And sort of just like, no, this is a collaboration. So it's like you gotta all act like cohesively. You're only as good as each other.
yeah.
Especially
You
if
can
you're
do it
like
best for the
main
team.
or supporting cast, right?
Yes. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you're there to like uplift each other, not make yourself look good.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah. Okay. In your career so far, what are you most proud of?
First, I mean, outside of the vertical space,
Anything you want.
um, if I'm allowed to talk about this, I would say the video game that I have that just dropped. If I can do it, if you don't mind, I can do a little self promo.
Go for it.
Um, so the video game is called Crimson Desert, and I was part of the original motion capture, performance capture team, and my face was actually scanned
Yeah.
for the main character of the game.
Oh, that's really
I have some
cool.
visual reference. I can actually go off and I can bring it back. Hold on a second, if you don't
Oh,
mind.
yes, please do.
Go back. All right. There we go. So I don't know if you can see from here, but
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
so this is the dude, and like I said, like he's on the cover, but this is a special limited edition cover, but
Mm.
like you basically play as him in this giant, massive, uh, sort of how do I say it? Uh, it's like a very open world RPG sandbox fantasy game.
Hmm.
Um, Beautiful, gorgeous, and that it's been doing great numbers. It hasn't even been out for a week yet, but it's like I've been waiting for 7 years for it to come out because I started working on it um, back in early 2019
Mm.
was when I joined the project around like February, March of that year. And we went until um, we couldn't. Obviously, we kind of tried to work through COVID, but obviously,
Mm.
restrictions and whatnot.
Yeah.
So kind of going to a mocap lab during that time, especially in Korea too, with their strict, social distancing policies and all that sort of thing. So it's kind of difficult to do a lot of that stuff from home too, because it requires you to actually be in that physical space to wear the suit, right? With all the little diodes. So it's like I had my own Andy Circus moment for like 2 years working on
Mm.
this, working on this amazing project with this with this team of talented individuals, and the fact that it's finally out after so long, and that over 3 million people have bought the game is just
Wow.
it's just surreal. It's just mind blowing,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And so it's like
crazy.
that's something that oh man, I'm getting emotional just talking about that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, 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 it's
No,
good. It's good. No, it's just been a crazy couple of like five 5 or 6 days now. It's like not even been a week or so, but it's just leading up to it, and then afterwards, like everything around it, like it's just been so surreal, so crazy, and just so uh, fulfilling, I guess.
yeah, I
Right, in a
love
sense,
that for you.
to see so many people playing it, enjoying it. I've seen streamers that have actually like done like the face paint and stuff. Like they got like the blue paint on the
Yeah.
face, and then they got like the fur cloaks and stuff like that, and cosplays and like fan art that I've seen of it. I'm just like, oh, I just it's crazy
I can see
just to
how
be a
that's a
part,
very proud moment for you. That's great.
just to be a part of something like that, and then a small part of that, and then to be featured in such a way too. So because I didn't know going in, like I knew who I was playing,
Yeah.
right? And I could talk about that whole process like ad nauseum of just going in almost every single day for 2 years for like 8 hours a day.
Mm.
Um, and like the character work that was involved, like that was a workshop in and of itself. Like that's where I would probably credit a lot of my sort of like education, but also just improvement through was just doing that for like 2 years of just having that sort of environment
Mm.
to do a lot of so much in it. But then yeah, so I didn't know that I would be, the cover guy going in.
So
I
good.
knew I was the character, but when I saw the images come out of it, I didn't recognize it at first. And I had to have it like my friends all pointed out to me and said, Trevor, that's you. And I'm just like, what? And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really, really good. I mean, as you said, that would feel so surreal for one, waiting that long for it to come out and be built, and another to realize that you're on the cover. That's really cool.
yeah. And it's like I didn't think it would. Like there were moments where I thought like, is this ever gonna release? Is it gonna
Mm,
come out? Because I've known games like I mean, I've been a gamer for over 30 years, and
mm,
I've worked in the video game industry before I got into acting and stuff like that, and because like animation was one of my majors in university,
yeah,
so like I followed it very, very closely um, growing up. So it's like no, like games, fail, movies fail before they even like get released,
yeah,
right? Like just in what the production hell, basically, right?
mm,
And they get stuck in that purgatory, and some never see the light of day. And
yeah,
I was worried like that would happen with this one. But no, I'm very, very grateful and very, very happy and just still very like mind blown that it
hmm
actually got to this stage and that the reception for it has been overly like very positive too
mm.
from the community as well.
Yeah. What consoles or like is that PC or are they on consoles as well?
It is on PC. It is on
Mhm.
PlayStation 5, Xbox, and I think also Mac currently right now. So the only console it's not on is Nintendo.
Yep.
For now, we'll see. I don't
Good.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything right now, so I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
part of the discussion right now at this point, um, but yeah, it's on most major platforms right now. So people can go
Oh,
on and
that's
buy it off of Steam or the Epic Game Store, or they can go into their nearest retailers and find it there
yeah.
too as well.
Yeah. My favorite game is actually on PlayStation 2, and it wasn't
Ooh,
released after that, which is really disheartening. But it's called Champions Return to Arms. It's like a medieval fighting game.
mm,
I
I think
really
I
wish,
remember that one.
yeah, I wish it evolved into like PlayStation 4 and 5, but they didn't. So, you know.
I think my favorite game from that era was Shadow of the Colossus.
Mm, that was a good one.
That one, I think, obviously, I think it, besides just having like, I think they're, I wish they would do another one of that, or at
Mm,
least like a remaster one for like PlayStation 5, like upscaled, like 4K graphics, like beautiful, crisp, because like it's sort of like in its own vein, it's sort of similar to Crimson Desert. I think like a lot of games sort of took notes from that
mm,
and just sort of like the vastness of the world, like the scale of it, and then just because, and it was for PlayStation 2. It was a PlayStation 2
hmm.
exclusive. You could only get it there. And I
Yeah.
think that game in itself, like so many people have like fond memories of it and its simplicity, right?
Mm,
But also like the emotion of the story and the characters, and the gameplay was fun too as well. So obviously I think if they went back
yes.
and did that, but I think obviously the biggest part I love about those games, and something I would say like I've come to realize is like this is something that I've always wished for in a video game, is sort of having this giant sandbox to play in and
Mm,
not needing to just be constrained within like this sort of narrow pathway, because there's so many
yeah.
ways to go about it and then play the game, and it just allows you to do so much, like crafting or um, fishing, climbing, exploring. Like they just let you play the game the way you want to play it. There is a story
Yeah. Yeah.
involved, there is a narrative, but it just sort of drops you in, doesn't hold your hand. There's no yellow paint telling you where to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. They obviously are going to give you hints, and it's going to get better, obviously, the longer it's out, right? As they do
Mm.
sort of like, hot fixes or patches and whatnot. But, it's just people dropping in. People are having fun, like just picking up cats off the street. You can make pets
Yeah.
in the game too. You can just pick up just like little chonky boys and chonky girls just like on there and just be like, this is the cat. And it's dressed as Puss in Boots now, right? I can give it a hat, I can
Mm.
give it armor, everything else like that. And it can help me get loot, right?
No, I love
So it's
that.
like all that stuff. And it's like I saw as soon as I saw like you can pick up cats and pet dogs, I'm just like game of the year.
Yeah. Yes.
My bias aside, it's like you can have pets. It's like boom,
I can make my
there you
own
go.
family. Yeah.
There you go. You
Yep.
can. You can have like a horde, like a gang. Like you can be the crazy cat person, but it's just like they're just going around gathering loot and all this stuff for you.
Love that so
It's
much. Love that. Okay. What was the funniest moment on set for you?
funniest moment. Oh, probably this is a throwback to one of my first, I think, acting jobs. It was for a commercial. I'm not going to say which one because it's like I don't want people to go looking it up because it is kind of cringe and kind of embarrassing. But it was a particular commercial I did for this company with it was a famous Korean actor at the time. Um, and the concept in and of itself was pretty ridiculous, where he was coming in, he just had like on like one of those like fake muscle shirts,
Hmm.
right? That's like padded, so he's got pecs and abs and everything else like that. And he's trying to sell me that.
Mm.
And basically what the direct we did a very strict one in that one where I'm just forced is like the foreign buyer basically for this Korean company, right? I'm just coming in, looking at it and being like, oh, okay, I see. That's very nice. Okay, good stuff, right? Good quality. That was the one that the director was like, okay, this is the one we're going to use. Now, for this next scene, go crazy,
Hmm.
right? Because he just let me free act for that next one. So for that next one, I just completely unhinged, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, here's the chance of a lifetime. I have this famous Korean. He's wearing a fake muscle shirt. There's a whole room full of people here and cameras and everything else like that. It's like ignore that sort of stuff. But it's basically I've been told by the director, do whatever I want.
Hmm.
So I just let the intrusive thoughts win, and I decided to just like play that man like fucking drums and xylophones and all this stuff like that. It's like beating back and forth, motorboating, all that sort of stuff for like the next like 10, 15, 20 seconds since the director
Hmm.
yelled action. And he had to stand there and keep a straight face the whole time. Everybody in that room had to keep a straight face.
Hmm.
Right. And it was like a big like Korean like boardroom. So there was like 20 other extras in the scene.
Yeah.
Right. All in their suits, like businessmen, all that sort of stuff like that. And then this famous Korean actor, right? And myself, right? And then as soon as he yells cut, everybody in the room just erupts in
Yeah.
laughter.
I can imagine.
Everybody,
Yeah.
everybody, even the Korean actor, the Korean actor, I was just like abusing for that part. But like that one definitely stands out to me as like one of the most like funny moments where it's just like, yeah, I when you make the entire cast and crew like crack up,
Yeah.
like that's what I love. That's what I love most
Yeah.
about it is this the the entertainment factor of it is just like making people laugh. Like if you want, that's this is kind of like a throwback, I guess, to like your first question, kind of like what drew me into acting in the first place. It's just like I love entertaining people,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It's a little bit about me, sort of like, but it's not so much like, oh, I want to be the center of attention. It's like, no, I just want to make people laugh. I want to
Yeah.
entertain people and that sort of thing. That's something that I've always wanted to do since I was a kid, since I was little,
Yeah.
right? Just be like a goof,
Yeah.
right? Be silly and just sort of feel good, making other people feel good too.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like that's the best thing to me. It's like if I can make somebody laugh, no
So we
matter
need
what
a
the scenario. Yeah.
comedy vertical as well,
Hmm.
or a comedy of some kind.
Yeah. Like that sort of thing. What
Mm.
do you do? If I feel like, okay, what's the funniest thing I've done in a vertical, or what's the funnest? I think we got a lot of laughs on Right Hook.
Hmm.
I think I made the director, great director, Sean. I think I made them crack up quite a bit too as well.
Yeah.
Reading some of the doing some of the scenes and stuff too as well. And so I would say like that one, but probably going way back to that one of those first that one of my first acting or commercial jobs, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. I've
Way
got
back in the day.
yeah, that's right. I've got one more question left. If you could go back and relive a single day in your career, which day would you pick?
Easy.
Yeah.
Um, I don't I hate to keep bringing it back up, but it's like I wanna step back into that mocap lab again.
Hmm.
Like that was just magical. If I could relive that,
Mm. Yeah.
so go back and start at that video game company again because it was a great group of people
Yeah.
that I was working with there. I met my best friends there, so through that
Mm.
job, so it was great. One of the guys you might know actually, Kevin
Yeah.
Dockery.
Yeah.
He's done quite a few of these himself too as well. But yeah, we worked on that game together back
Yeah.
then,
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
we'd worked together a few times before that, but that sort of was like the thing that's sort of solidified like our friendship and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I haven't had a chance to speak to him yet, but I hope to.
Oh
But
yeah, he's
yeah,
a riot.
yeah, yeah. Did you want to dive in a little bit to what the game involves more, or it's up to you? Because I can see how passionate you are about this.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's like you kind of also just kind for anybody who's interested, I guess, who's watching. It's sort of like one of those things that you just kind of have to delve in for yourself because it's not it's it's difficult to kind of just break down because there's so much to it. It's like a huge like sort of like I said, like sandbox, like open world thing, and there's so many things you can do in it, and like the graphics and everything like that. Like some of the, and I think they said like it takes like over 100 hours to complete. Like if you want to try
What?
and like 100% the game, like if you're a completionist, you're probably looking at maybe 150, 200 hours in. So it's like the playability and like that's the longevity of the game,
Mm,
right? And like that's kind of how because you don't want to just like one and done the game, right? And just like
yeah.
have it sitting on your shelf and be like never touched again. So like the fact
Hmm.
that people can go back to this game,
Yeah.
right, and have something to go back to for a long time and find enjoyment or something. I feel like there's going to be like a lot of people having like an existential moment in the game
Mm,
too as well. Like just because of how well the artists and the team and everybody like built this game, there's a lot of footage because you can also take screenshots in the game too as well. Like it has like a little camera feature of it too as well. You can just take these beautiful like sort of scenic shots and like a lot of people like can just sit and just look and just take in everything. Like a lot of people just I've seen a lot of streamers just sit there in quiet awe and just
mm,
rotate the camera around or just like, make the character sit on a ledge and just have his sort of like moment for like
mm.
5, 10 minutes at a time. Like it's just you can just kind of just sit there and just watch
Yeah. I like
those kind
that.
of that kind of like aspect of it. Like so it's it means I guess it means something different to everybody too as well. Like
Yeah.
whatever you want to find in the game, I guess. Sort of like if you want to focus, like you said, if you want to focus on building your cat army or dolls,
Hmm.
whatever it is like that, you can totally do that. If you want to
Mm,
search the game and try like different recipes or customizing your armor, character, whatever, like you can do that. If you want to just
mm,
walk around and explore, you can do that. If you want to fly a dragon, you can do that. If you want
mm.
to, be sort of like a little bit more of like a renegade, a rogue, like steal or, break the law every once in a while. Like you can do that too as well if you
And
decide to
get
not
away with
be a
it.
hero, you know. Yeah, in that sort of sense. And then yeah, if you want to just go around and just fight a bunch of people like and bosses and stuff and sort of have like your, Elden Ring, Dark Souls, boss battles and stuff like that too as well. Like you can totally do that too as well. So I think it's got a little something for everybody, and everybody I think is going to have their own kind of experience and unique
Yeah.
to them. I think too, which is also I think a good, honestly, like a great selling point of the game too as well. Is like something that everybody can feel a little bit differently or takes a little different something away from it through their play of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I haven't gamed for a while because every time I tried, my kids would steal the controller. Um, but now I want to. Can you get that? Is it like PS5 up? Like, is it just PS5 or can you get it on PS4?
PS5.
Ah, yeah, I can't
PS5,
afford to go buy a new
unfortunately.
console.
No, well, I mean, if if who knows? I mean, if it takes off at some point, right? Maybe you know if you can this interview thing and it becomes like more of a profession or everything else like that. It's like who knows? It's like if it becomes like PC available at some point, if you have like the right
Mm,
specs and stuff like that.
yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, no, it's set for like the PS5 and like most current gen
Yeah, that just means the
stuff at the
graphics are
moment.
great. That just means the graphics are great. So,
I mean, even if it didn't have like perfect graphics, because
Mm.
I saw a lot of people before like make comparisons and stuff like that and be like, two separate things can exist. There's two different styles and stuff like that. But
Mm.
I think obviously the fidelity and the graphics do add to the game, definitely for sure. But I think
Yeah.
even if they were not as great, and this is just me personally, I think it
Mm.
would still like be a fun game, right? Because
Mm.
it's like you don't need great graphics to have a fun game. A lot of people these days too, I think especially enjoy going back and playing retro games.
Mm. Oh,
You
yes.
know,
Yeah.
going back. I think that's why I mean, Nintendo's re-releasing like Fire Red and Leaf Green for the
Yeah.
Switch too. And it's just like
Yeah.
that's like what 16-bit. So
Yeah.
it's like that's not like 2026 graphics or
No.
Unreal
Yeah.
Engine 5, none of that stuff. So it's like
Yeah.
I think graphics don't break a game, but then they also don't
No.
make a game either as
No.
well. It's again like the most important part is like, is it fun? Are you
Yes.
having a good time? Are you enjoying yourself? Like that's the most important thing. I think a lot of people still play Minecraft too,
Yeah.
right?
My kids are currently playing Minecraft. Yes.
There you go. Yeah, all that stuff.
Mm.
Like what else? The kids playing like Fortnite. Like again, it's like a different style. Like it's more cartoony. It's more stylized, right?
Mm.
So it's just like whatever art. So it doesn't have to be photorealistic or maybe necessarily the same as say like maybe a Red Dead Redemption 2, which a lot of people have been making comparisons to just because of like the open world aspect of it and a lot of similar mechanics like riding horses or fishing or maybe even combat to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like, they can borrow, they can take inspiration from, but it's also they can be like two different things too as well. Like, oh, the water in this game looks different.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
The lighting's
Yeah.
different, the style is different, the art, the textures, it can be different. It's fine.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've got my kids playing Crash Bandicoot and Spyro.
Oh,
Yeah.
those are good games. I remember those games. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Fantastic. Yeah, those ones are
And you don't
super
have to
fun.
keep buying things to play them. You just once you got the game, you got it.
And that's the best. I think that's the best part of it too. I forget. Like, I don't want to sound like a salesman or a pitchman here,
No.
like trying on the game, but it's like, no, you buy the game, you have that's the game,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
Like I said, like they're adding patches and hot fixes to it if there's certain things are buggy about it, which is impressive. Like the fact that the devs care
Mm.
this much and are acting this quickly even on like the weekend to sort of like, improve the experience of the players,
Yeah.
of the gamers that are playing it, but also the fact that it's like, yeah, there's no like microtransactions,
Hmm.
right? It's not a live service game, right?
Yeah.
There's no store you need to buy anything from. It's like obviously there's stores in the game, right? There's
Mm.
markets, right? It's a medieval market, but it's like you can, earn silver in the game like you can like any other fantasy game out there. So it is, but you're not spending your own money
Yes.
to buy stuff in the game,
Yes. Yeah.
right? You get the whole game,
I
right?
love
There's no
that.
other thing for it. It's just like this is it. And it's like nice.
Yeah.
Which like not many companies are doing that these days too. I think a lot
No,
of
they're
them
not.
like are so into like the whole microtransactions and live service
Hmm.
stuff. It's just so annoying that that's like where the culture is shifting. So I hope like this is sort of one of the milestones that sort of just says like this is sort of like a return to gaming.
Yeah.
I think like a
I
gamer's
wish,
game.
yeah, I wish we had more games like that still. So it's good
Mhm.
that you guys
Well,
did that. So
there is hope. There is hope. So I think there's if enough studios care enough, yeah. But
yeah, absolutely.
anyways, I don't want to bore everybody with just talking about it. But yeah,
You're
it's
passionate
been
about
pretty
it.
great.
You're
Yeah,
passionate about it,
very
and I
much so.
love that.
I want to. I'm trying to, and keeping my fingers crossed too. I'm trying to, get back into it.
Hmm.
Obviously, because it's like something I miss and something I also care about and very passionate about a lot. So obviously, like I would love to go back into into the game industry, and also maybe continue working with the company that
Yeah.
that I helped build this game with too as well, and do more for it too as well, because like I said, it kind of
Mm.
ended abruptly, right?
Yeah.
So it's sort of feeling like I want to go back and do more,
Mm. It feels
right?
incomplete,
That
kind of,
Yeah, in a sense,
in a
it's sort of
sense.
just
Yeah.
like, no, what I had my experience, I added what I could, and it's like that that can't be taken away. Like
Mm.
I made an impact, I did something.
Yeah.
So, but just sort of like left, like you said before, when something is, what do you say, like you feel like, what is it, honest about it, or whether it was
No-
done.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So if you, yeah, yeah, I don't know whether the question is now, but yeah, whether it's truthful for you or whether it's just
Yeah,
technically correct type thing.
yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe technically for them, it's sort of just like, yeah, okay, he served a purpose or whatever it is like that at that time,
Mm.
right? And maybe it was difficult to go back to it, or they changed certain things about it. But for me, like the honest part about it was like sort of just like, yeah, like I did it, and it's like nothing can take away from that. But it's like, do I want to do more with it? Absolutely,
Mm.
you know, absolutely, So
Yeah.
seeing what I can do, and obviously it's different, you know, because my contribution to the game is going to be different, maybe than say like his voice actor, for example,
Mm.
right? So he added something to the character too as well. So he has a certain attachment to it
Yeah.
versus myself too as well. So it's like, again, I don't want to steal or take away from anybody else's contributions either, because he did a phenomenal job
Yeah.
adding to it. And I always kind of joke and say like, oh, this guy has like two dads basically,
Yeah. Yeah. Technically.
you know.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of how I reached out to him too as well, just kind of randomly, just one day, he'd be like, "Hey, nice to meet the." Once I found out who he was like, "Hey, nice to meet Cliff's other dad,"
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's
formally.
funny.
But hopefully, fingers crossed, seeing where things go, and then just trying my best to like make the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I really hope you get that chance to do that again because, like I said, I can see how passionate you are about it. So I really hope that that happens for you one day.
Appreciate it. And then, of course, like I was continuing to do like entertaining everybody through the vertical
Yeah.
drama sphere, and all the other projects that I have given to me
Yeah.
too, whether they're commercials or feature films, Netflix, what have you.
Yeah. You can multitask your passions. Yeah.
Absolutely. Diversify.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
Well, thank you so much for having this interview with me today. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me on here and letting me ramble on about all the goings on and stuff.
I'm happy to talk about gaming anytime. So,
Awesome. Awesome. It's good to finally like kind of communicate also to the this side of sort of like the vertical like drama sphere stuff too as well.
mm,
So, I
mm,
like and enjoy engaging with, I guess I'd say, the fans. I don't like to say I don't want to say like, oh, I have fans, right? It's
mm.
like I don't particularly like that kind of word to it, because they're just like, I'm just doing a job and people watch it and enjoy it, and it's like I'm very grateful and I'm very appreciative,
Yeah.
to the people for allowing me to have this platform, you know,
Yes.
and taking the time to watch stuff that I do. So I don't want it to say like or sound like unappreciative, or sort of like mm, reduce them to fans,
Yeah. Yeah. I know
basically.
what you mean.
If it
Yeah.
does sound reductive, I don't want it to sound that way, but it's sort of just like I'm very grateful for this time and this opportunity, and obviously being able to engage with and speak more than I could with somebody than just on a random like Instagram post or
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever.
Well, I would get that part out, I promise. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you again very soon.
Thank you. Thank you. You enjoy your day too.
Thank you.